How's it going? I had the amazing opportunity to spend 6 weeks down in Louisville, Kentucky. It is pronounced Louisville, not Louisville. I learned that very quickly. I worked at the Fraser Rehabilitation Institute, which was the Center for Kentucky Spinal Cord Injury and Research. It's a very long, big acronym. I don't remember how to say it. I worked in a 15-story building. Where I come from, that's huge. I worked on 3 different floors, a research floor and 2 clinics. The majority of my work was under one study with Dr. Alexander Ovechkin, PhD candidate, really smart guy. Not me. I worked with stimulating different nerves in the back of spinal cord injury patients. So down here, actually it's right there, it's like a little circuit board that basically stims different nerves in the back, controlling different parts of the human body. So we could control lungs, heart rate, blood pressure, trunk control, like almost like a robot. It was insane. Um, a lot of the work we did was getting patients to be able to walk again. A lot of the spinal cord injury patients we had were complete injuries. So that meant from neck down, no feeling, complete paralyzation. It was difficult at times. I worked with um, adults, but I also worked in peds, and it was definitely tough in peds because I saw kids who were born with birth defects where they never knew how to walk. It was also super cool to be able to teach people how to walk again. A lot of what a spinal cord injury is reconnecting the pathways from the brain down to the legs and making them work together and communicate. The locomotive therapy that we did on treadmills was a big part of that because it reconnected basically the central highway from your brain to your legs and retaught the body reteaches itself how to walk. It's really complicated, but it is super cool how it works. Um, I also did a lot of respiratory training with complete spinal cord injury patients, lung control, diaphragm control, and overall just lung capacity is dampened. So we are reteaching a lot of patients how to breathe. Um, exit or exhale velocity and inhale velocity was a big test we did, and it was cool to see patients improve over the 6 weeks while I was down there. Um, it got a little tricky because you would have patients sometimes pass out. And when you have a patient pass out who has a spinal cord injury, it can be terrifying. I am not a doctor by any means. I'm still a high schooler. So being put in those situations was a little terrifying at times. But we got through it. Everybody was okay. Nobody died. Um, I also got to work with motion capture. This is called a gravity neutral device. It sounds really cool. It was two 2x4s and a couple ankle holsters. Um, it was super cool. It's not as techy as it sounds. What would happen is I would lay down with all these little dots on my back, and they would track how I walked and what it looked like as a normal person would walk. And then they could take that image and how I walked and compare it to spinal cord injury patients. One of the big struggles we had with this was getting a program to recognize my body. A lot of the times it recognized my hip or my ankles as my hips, and it got different body parts confused. So we spent a lot of time realigning um, the program so it would actually recognize a human body. Outside of work, I spent a lot of time at Lakeside. Lakeside is an amazing old limestone quarry pool. I taught myself how to front flip. Thank you very much. I swam laps and more laps and more laps. I ended up making a lot of cookies. I had the great opportunity of staying with the host family. So this is Graham. Angus has his heads turned here. They loved cookies. So I come from a baking family. I got to make a lot of cookies. We also went to a soccer game, which Louisville has 2 amazing soccer teams, which the female team, Lou City Racing, is actually better than the male's team. I spent a lot of time with the boys in the house, walking around Louisville, and just at the pool, exploring the city. And it was a lot of fun. We also got to go to a baseball game, and I will say the sunsets in the south are very nice. There are no mountains blocking the sun. It's amazing.
and shout out to Bridget and
Hi,
the family.
Bridget and family in Vancouver. Um, what to expect and like what to think about. You are an intern. My first week, I did a lot of grunt work. I had a stack of papers about this high that I had to file. It wasn't fun. I got really accustomed with a coffee machine. You will learn a lot, let me tell you. Inside and outside of work, you will learn a lot about yourself. Independency was a huge thing. I will say having a host family like the one I had was amazing. They were very like, you do what you want. Like, this is your internship, this is your summer, and I think that helped me a lot. You have to be ready for anything. A lot of the stuff I didn't think I was gonna do going into my internship. So you have to be prepared to say yes and be willing to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. I just want to say thank you to all these people and for listening to me.